So today, Michael's going to be running the show, and he's got some amazing things that he's continuing to dive down the path of what we did last week, looking at how to use Gemini inside of our well, in many different ways. And in the after hours, we're going to look at putting a bow on all of that. That is to say, taking what Michael's been showing us and some of these other things and begin to see how we can capitalize on that, put some revenue behind it. How does one take these things that we're learning and begin to impact our bank accounts? So I'm looking forward to that. And that's going to be a fun mastermind session for us to kind of everybody grab an oar and have fun and participate. Okay. Well, that puts Michael on deck. It's all you, sir.
Thank you. And I'm glad everyone's here today because this is going to be pretty good. So the big thing that we were talking about last week was how to create gems and the various things that we could do with the gems, the sources that we could add to the gems. And we looked at, incorporating Notebook LM into gems and what did that really mean? So today we're going to create a gem really quickly and dive into this. So, but before we do that, I just want to show everybody a little bit about how the gem can be used in your documents and how you could call it into other things, not necessarily just a document, but a spreadsheet or a Google Slides presentation or your calendar or your email or other things. Okay, so I know we were talking on um, office hours with Jeff. He started creating an app script that started building out this entire scenario for him to be able to basically interview someone, take an assessment, gather that data, and then from that data be able to do other things with it. Okay. So we can expand upon that. We can do a lot of different things in this episode. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to share and let me make sure I have some sound on. And I guess I could be a little smaller. That's not bothering everybody. And we'll just share here. So I don't know what's on the screen.
It's your Gemini.
Okay, perfect. So if you look at the gems that are created, these are pre-made by Google. So if you don't know how to code, here's a coding partner. If you need to write a storybook, brainstorm, a career guide, so on and so forth. But what you learn when you get down here, here's a copy creator. So what does that mean? This is copy for newsletters, for articles that you may want to write, various different things. It could be a copy creator for your social media post, but this is going to be bland. This isn't you, right? This isn't what you've got going on. But we're going to explore these things. Productivity planner and outreach specialist. So if you're doing outbound email marketing, this may be something you want to look at, right? If you're doing outbound ads, you may want to look at these various things that are in here. Your writing editor, so it's going to go through and make sure. And then Tanya's an expert at this. She probably doesn't need it, but I'm not as bright as Tanya when it comes to those various things. So I'm going to put things in there like M dashes and uh, what was the comma you said you were telling me about, Tanya? There's something, some kind
The,
of spec.
the Oxford comma.
There you go, the Oxford comma. Who knows what that is?
I know it's
Um,
as controversial as if you want pineapple on your pizza.
oh yeah,
Yes.
pineapple's absolutely going on pizza.
Yes. So is
So
it extra
anyway,
comma?
yeah. So sentiment analyzer. So that's something that you could use with what you're creating, Jeff. You could go in and apply this to it. What when you're running a poll or you're gathering data, what is the sentiment of your users, right? Maybe you did a podcast interview that someone's doing later today, so they couldn't present this morning. What is the sentiment of the comments that are in that, right? Sales pitch ideator, all right? One of the biggest things about what we're going to talk about in after hours is you have to be able to market. You have to be able to tell that story, share the value, share the various things of the company and what it's bringing to the table. But then we need to be able to pitch that when you start getting inbound calls, right? Or whatever that looks like for your various product or service. Okay. So you can see I've made a few gems here. There's a whole bunch of them, and we can go into some of these. All right. But anyway, I just want to share these before we move forward with everybody on what we're going to be doing. So if you look, I have a bunch of blog posts. Go ahead, Bill.
Michael, on those pre-made ones there, can we like copy them, template them, and actually then dig behind them, or are they just, they work this way and that's it?
So some of them you can. So if you look at the coding partner, let's go into it. You can use what's in here. Go high level Google Analytics tracking setup. All right. So you can use what's in here, but you should make a copy.
Mm-hmm.
Right here. It's it. So you can make a copy of that and potentially go in and give it some custom instructions that fit better for you. So let's look at that. So we're going to make a copy of it. And where did it go? Right into creating instructions and customizing it and adding knowledge and so on of your products, services, your documents from the GPT, right? Your AI twin. You can add all that into this. Your default output that we talked about last week, right? What do you want the output to be? Okay. And you would probably want, because this is a coding partner, you'd probably want to use the canvas. So that it,
I wonder if there's going to be like a, you know how GPTs, there's a community of them, and because these ones are probably created by Google, I'm guessing.
These are created by Google, but yes, they are moving in that direction. And what they've already done, this is new. So if no one's done this, you can go in here and you can schedule actions, or you can just tell it. You can talk to a new chat in Gemini and schedule something. You can different connected apps. So you can connect various things to your GPTs already. I mean, your gems. And this is only going to go further and further and further. They are working within their own ecosystem. They are building their own workspace, if you will. Whereas OpenAI doesn't have this. They have to bring everything in. Now, they do some things better. Claude doesn't have this. They have to bring other things in. Now, Claude just did launch a workspace in there to where you can attach different agents to different things. And then there's a skills library that Lynn just shared in the community. And if you haven't looked at that, oh my God, Lynn, you want to elaborate on that? That thing's crazy.
Oh, it is. It is crazy. I've still got to dig into it myself, but
So yeah, I just scratched the surface. So they're coming in, they're doing these things. But if you're looking in here, you can
your head's kind of in the way where you're opening that up from.
Can I get out of the way? Am I out of the way?
No, you have to turn your.
Okay. Well, anyway, go down to your settings and look at it.
Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff inside that Google is really building out and blowing up. All right. So get ready. It's coming. All the things that are your favorite things on all the other LLMs, they're going to have it very soon. They are moving faster than anybody out there. Everybody else is doing their one thing better and better and better. Google's moving forward with all their stuff at the same time. You can go into Google Labs, look at all the stuff they're working on that are what did this one say? So this one said experiment, right? So you can see all the things they're experimenting with that's coming forward. And there is a bunch. I mean, there is an entire web page slap full of things that they are moving forward with. But neither here nor there for today. Today we're talking about gems. So let's dive into that. Let's look. So one of the things about gems is you can bring them into a document. So this is a web page. This is a blog post. And I say that very loosely because it's written in a very specific manner that is AEO optimized. Okay. So with AEO, you're answering a question. So there's the question, and there's the answer. And here's all the supporting for the answer. Right? That is the key thing to AEO. The next key thing is your head schema, your schema that goes into your web pages or your blog posts or whatever, wherever you're posting it at, it's going to vary. So that's neither here nor there for this, but I just wanted to show that. So we're going to look at this. We're going to bring, now keep in mind, this is very bland. This is written for a machine consumption, not human consumption, although it is very informational for humans. Okay. But it's answering the questions the machine is looking for. What's the next question? What's the next question? Right? You see what's going on here. There's a question, there's an answer. There's a question, there's an answer. But the whole thing is right here. Okay, so let's look at this. What could we do here? So we could summarize this. We already went over that last week, did we not? We went over looking at the summary and various things. All right, so let's go on and look at the various things. So I have one that's a LinkedIn article composer. Okay, this is a gem that I created that writes a LinkedIn article to a certain word length and then provides 3 social media posts, LinkedIn, that goes behind it. Okay, so it's the article and 3 posts that this is going to write based on this content. So I don't even have to give it instruction, but we will. I'll just say, go to work, to work. Pretty simple. Can't get an easier prompt than that because it already has its instruction built into it over here. So where's the LinkedIn article composer? The instructions and its knowledge and so on is already built into it. Now, if you look, how simple can the instructions get? There it is. That's all the instruction it has. There's no knowledge here. There's no default tool that it's outputting.
So then in that case, the knowledge becomes the Google Doc.
The world. Yes. The Google
Does it-
Doc. And it goes out. What is a world-class author with 24 years of experience specializing in these things? Okay. What is that? I don't have to explain it to it. It's going to go out there on the internet and the Google sphere and the Bings and Yahoos and websites and wherever it goes to find this. And it becomes that. Then it has a little bit of instruction. write a synopsis and transform that brief into this. Target the ICA. So it does have, it knows who these people are. Operations managers, executive assistants, whatever. I have a very specific target audience. Now, could I have done all these various things in a notebook or knowledge base? Yes, and I would suggest doing that. Okay, because the more refined the information it has to look at, the less random and broad it's going to be. But for the purposes of this presentation, this is what we have. So the article structure is going to be this. It's a hook, AEO focus, a title, a description, blah, 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 right? The entire thing is right here. Technical additions. What's it say? I want that back.
Right, that's pretty important for the
It's very important to have
the
that markup
AEO.
schema. Okay. Now, I don't want to go into AEO because this is not an AEO presentation.
Correct.
In LinkedIn, you do not have the opportunity to use this in the manner of markup schema. Okay. Just so we're clear on it. But there are some things that you can do once it's there. So how's it going to write it? So on and so forth, right? It has instructions. There's no knowledge base. There's no default tool. All right. Just very simple set of instructions. So let's look at what that looks like back over here. There's my LinkedIn article composer. Go to work. I should probably say using this article. Okay. So we're going to let it work for a minute. Is there any questions on what we just did? On what we just looked at? Because this is going to get in depth here in just a second.
Well,
So
go ahead, Lynn.
yeah, pulling these gems in from the sidebar like this, is it only gems you've created, gems you've highlighted, or any gem
Excellent
at all?
question. Let any gem that you have in your library of gems. So it's gems you've created or those ready-made ones by Google. They do not have a gem store yet.
Okay.
Can we
Okay.
get if
Go ahead.
and I don't know the answer, which is why I'm asking. So imagine, if you will, you've shared this gem with all of us. Do we then have access to it when we go up and do that magic part?
I believe so.
Okay.
Okay. That's something I've shared gems with several of you in here. So you could look and find out and give us that answer. Now, before I move forward, we mentioned a gem store. So I do want to give Lynn some props made. And if anybody is using GHL, Lynn just created a custom GPT. Again, not the subject of this conversation, but she just created a custom GPT that she shared. It is in the community. Go to the community, get that. Please give her a review. It is fantastic. If you need to know how to use, go high level. That gem is going to, or that GPT, it's very thorough. Okay. It gives very good instruction. So go look at it, review it, give her a review because it's going to help her in the store. All right, moving forward. What did it do? It just created from this document using my gem over here, the LinkedIn article composer, using that gem, it just created the content right here in the sidebar. So let's look at this. What do we have? So here's the content. There's the title. So the description, the question, the so on, the so forth, the supporting, all from this. This is not the information that's over here. It used this information to write a 2,000 word article. geared towards my ideal customer avatar. And there
So
it is.
so your gem then, I guess, Michael, a person could have a gem here, but and include some of your personality. So you like your writing style would be completely different. Like, if you watch Perry Belcher write this stuff versus us, it's going to be different. You know what I mean?
That's right. So that's what I'm going to show you, how to stack these gems inside of this article. All right. So let's see. How do I get, there we go. Now I got rid of that thing. All right. So if you look, now we have the entire thing. There's the schema markup it was told to do. Everyone understand what that is?
Nice.
All right. Next steps for distribution. So now it's asking a question. What do you want to do? I will then generate, okay, once the article is published, you have the final URL. I could give it some random URL. One thing that I have a problem with here, you can do it over here, but you can't do it here. I like to talk to it because it's so much faster.
Oh, that would
Okay.
be turning on the Windows voice thing.
You could do that, but not, it won't allow you. There's no microphone, there's no anything for you to do it. And I could do it right here. That's not a problem in my settings, but this
So,
does
Michael,
not.
question. Why did you convert that article into the JSON?
I didn't. What you
Oh,
see here is the schema
ah,
that
okay.
goes in the head of your article so that search engines or AI searches such as Google AI overviews or Chat GPT or Perplexity or other AI searches can find your content, because it's not going and crawling this article. It's looking for this. And then it's going to crawl your article.
Got it.
So this
Okay.
schema is for the article you started with,
No,
or the
it's
one
for
you
this.
just wrote.
It's for this article. It's for this article.
And if it was published
Trimmed
on,
down. He had a small, concise little article to start with. Now it's expanded it
Yeah. So
considerably, actually.
it's expanded upon it because this is human readable. People want to read interesting stuff. If you read this, it's not interesting. It's dry. It's bland. It's cut. It's to the point. It's for AI search. That's the sole purpose of this, is for AI search, to be able
So
to
what's
find.
interesting, Michael, is if you're doing this, I like what this does a lot because the schema with it is vitally important, I think, if we're in AEO land. What I'm wondering about is if you have the original article, kind of figure out like on someone's say website or something they're doing, how do they kind of maximize for AEO and maximize for human readability at the same time? Or can you?
uh Not really. From and I went way down this rabbit hole, okay, because I was hearing so much noise out there. Everyone's talking about, oh, do this, no, do that, no, do that. Well, you know what? I asked the freaking source, what do you want? How are you going to find my content when someone searches? I didn't ask all these various people. I didn't ask Rick. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask Tanya. I went and asked Chat GPT, how are you going to find my crap? I went and asked Gemini, how are you going to find my stuff? I went to Perplexity and said, how do you find my stuff?
Yep.
Okay. All these gurus and all that stuff that have their courses and workshops and all these things, there's a price tag attached to every single one of them. And that if you look at all those various things, and I'm not putting any names to anything because there's a million of them out there. All right. Every single one of those goes to their stuff so they can tell you exactly the wrong thing. Just something to think about. All right. Just something to think about. They all have a something they're trying to sell, or they're trying to get you in the next workshop, or whatever those things are. All right. Now, the reason why this schema is here was just as an example to show you that it can be populated. Maybe you have some content over here, and maybe this isn't a LinkedIn article composer. Maybe it is a blog composer trained to write exactly like this. And it's taking someone's random bunch of data. I can show you some of random bunch of data. Let's, well, here, we won't go there. We probably should, but we won't. Maybe in after hours. So now I have this article. Now I have this schema. Now I have these various things. But before I say write the LinkedIn post, you see this right here, insert. So I can create another document, or it's actually the same document, and I can save all that. There it is. There it is, right there. Now I probably want to, is it keeps coming up with this that it can't sync my changes for whatever reason. I don't know what that is, but we'll go back to the first one. And now we're going to tell it to generate the LinkedIn posts. Is there any question on what we just did? Everyone understood that. We can take random data. Say you have a bunch of disorganized meeting notes, and you had them transcribed. You could take those meeting notes and write a post on them that is formatted in a specific way based on the instructions that you gave your gem. Does that make sense? And then you can get an output. You can get a structured output on a document that you can keep a library of and create social media posts. We could go in, maybe I had one that writes ebooks or generates PDFs or whatever gem that I have, except for an image creator. Okay. An image creator gem will not work in here, but you can create images in here. So let's say I wanted to plug an image in right here. Well, it's not going to let me click on the document while it's working. But if I wanted to insert an image right here, I could copy that and say, create an image that looks like this, that does that, that's just a thing, and I could put that image right here by inserting. It would create the image right here, and I could insert it right there.
So now in Comet, when you're doing this sidebar work, that shows up as a thread back in Perplexity. Does this do the same anywhere?
Yeah, in Gemini. So I can go back over here and I can look at, well, when we get done, that conversation will be in your chat. It may be there now. Let's go look at the LinkedIn article composer and let's see if the last AI for small, there it is. So this is the conversation that we're having. So how did it start? Replaceability myth. All right, well, let's go back over here and scroll up here and see if it says the replaceability myth. Oh, where's the title? But anyway, yes, Rick, to answer your question, it just hasn't got there yet. I would probably have to close this out for it to get there. But that's where it lives at, is in your in your gem, and it will be over here in the sidebar, also in your chats.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
so then
so
it
back.
becomes a thread in the gem, much like we have threads and projects and okay. Okay.
That's correct. All right, so now let's get back down here. Oh, it must be making some great posts. All right, so while it's doing this, well, it will make these LinkedIn posts. But look at this. Type @ to reference your workspace files. So if I put @ right there, what's it allow me to do? It allows me to go in there and look at these documents that I have in Google Drive. Okay, so is this starting to trigger some things in your mind? Is anyone doing it right now?
I'm just watching because I want to keep. I don't want to get myself distracted, to be honest.
Okay, so
There's that.
I want it to. All right, well, I don't want to sit here with dead air time while this thing is running. So let's go look at a gem. Let's make a gem real quick. Okay, so let's make a gem. Gems, new gem. If you have a private account, you will have the what Opal. So you'll have gems in Opal are different than gems created in here. All right, if anyone's using Opal, if they've done that,
So is this Workspace you're using, or right now, or is it private? Your Google account. I'm just thinking your Gemini account. Is this under like Pro
Oh, this is
something
a workspace account.
Can you
Workspace?
show us the other one? Do you have that?
Rick could. You want to show
Yep.
that real quick while this is running, Rick?
Sure, why not? It's like,
So it's just a
okay.
different section above, but it says my gems there also. And it's a little bit confusing. You get, where'd my gems go? Well, they're down below.
So here, let's just walk through this. So Gemini.
And then it'll,
And gems.
Yep.
So
So in
here's
this gem manager, those are created by Google, but then you have gems made by labs. And
I see.
these,
and so this
see,
is
Can
where
you
this
can
is
you still do a copy of those, Rick? Like if you do 3-dot it, does it say copy? Make a copy or something? Oh,
Duplicate.
duplicate. It
Duplicate.
does, yeah. So it makes a duplicate of the Opal ones too.
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
And then if you scroll down a little bit,
Oh, I want to see the difference for myself at least. Let's see. Can I oh well. Just real quick. How do I
Switch accounts.
yes. I know I can do okay, come on. So I know I can switch from here. I want to see what it looks like in a workspace. So here,
I have my different browsers just automatically configured to one or the other, you know.
I don't switch much, and especially with the whole Gemini thing.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
So is Gemini available here somewhere? There it is.
It is, yeah.
Are you in a workspace account or a personal account?
This one's workspace. That's why I wanted to see the difference.
Uh-huh.
And I don't do anything in this one because I know that Michael gets shackled constantly if he does something in his workspace and he can't share it with people outside of his team.
Right,
go
that's why I
show
turned
more-
that one
show
off
more.
and just went to the pro one.
Yeah, so
Just
here's
go with the Pro one.
Pro, and then here's the wow.
You'll see that there's the show more under the pre-made by Google. There's a few
Yeah.
more. I think that's what Michael was showing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
it-
can go to the
His
show more
workspace.
and stuff, but
yeah. So that
And these are not Opal ones. Is that what you're thinking, Michael? Or
that's
they
what he's attempting to point out. Yeah. So this is the
okay?
workspace
So these are
version.
created by Google. You probably haven't created anything in Opal over here.
Yeah, I haven't done anything in this one because I don't need to run into that wall.
Right. So if you created something in Opal over here, you would have those experiments.
Okay. And then here I've played in labs, but I don't know that I've actually created anything in labs. Okay.
okay.
So it's just something, once you start digging into all this stuff, you're going to start finding out. But I just wanted to point out there was a distinction.
Okay. Sounds good. I will stop my share and back to you.
Okay.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I had a squirrel I was going to throw on the table, but I'll get it ready.
Yeah,
Okay.
because you can't really share the gems, I don't think, under Workspace, can you? Or can you now?
Yes. So let me
Okay,
show. So
that's
there's
new.
two different ways. So very much like in
Uh,
OpenAI, if you share your gems from here, you're going to share your documents, your whole 9 yards. Okay. You don't want to do that. So if you share your gems from over here, let's say the LinkedIn Composer, and I share it. So now, see, so let's just do an experiment.
what do they have for options? Viewer, something, something? I'm just curious there.
Uh, it's
Viewer and
viewer and
editor.
edit.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll just take that, done, and I'll put this in the chat. I don't care if someone uses it, just so you can see what you got. How do I get now? I'm locked out of here. It did this to me last time. My whole thing. So let me stop the share so I can get back over here to the chat. The whole thing freeze. Oh, William's fun. So let's see. There's the gem I'm using now in the chat. If anyone wants to look at that. Okay, now everything's back where it's supposed to be. That's just weird. So, anywho, whatever. All right. So where was I at? We were in here. Okay, so can't sync changes. I don't understand what's going on with this. All changes saved to this device. It says I'm offline. But I'm not offline, or I wouldn't be talking to everybody. So now let's give this thing a name. Let's do this. Come on, please work. Okay, so it's not going to work. So I'm going to take this text, and we have this strategy, and I'm going to stop. Oh, this is the entire article, and I'm going to stop right here at the end of it. Right there is the end of that article. So we've created an article. Supposedly, it would when I changed something, it quit running over here. But let's say we had that and we had multiple gems. Then you could take that content that you created and do something else with it. So you could go in here and do a thing. You could do a book research part, ebook out of it, whatever. All the various things that you have, all the various gems that you have. You could go in and do a sales pitch based on the content. So let's look at that real quick. Write a sales pitch for me based on this content. There it is. Here's your sales pitch. See what does everyone see what I'm getting at here? Now we're going to take this article that I just had and everyone sees the power of the gems inside the documents. Am I correct in saying that, or?
Yes.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Okay. So it goes beyond documents. If you have, let's do a sheets document. And I don't want to veer off on this. I want to stay. Oh, what? Okay, let's just do it in a spreadsheet. And we'll create. Come on.
You had an extra space when you typed sheets.new.
Did I?
Yeah.
We'll just create one here. So you see, you get the same opportunity to bring gems into spreadsheets. So we're starting to see how powerful this can get. Now, I'm going to show you something. Don't squirrel off on this, but this is something. You see that right there? Huh? So if we go right here and we say equals AI and we put a parentheses, now we can create a thing right here where it'll go in and start creating something based on the cells of these spreadsheets or based on any query that we put right here. This is Gemini right here in the cell of this spreadsheet. So and I would like to, Jeff, please remind me to do this in after hours if you're sticking around for after hours, because this will apply to your spreadsheets.
Cool.
Okay. So we can look at this. You can also put Gemini right here. And Gemini summarize, categorize, blah, 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 right? In a cell based on other cells in the spreadsheet. You see where I'm going, Jeff?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll explore that in after hours. That's a pretty interesting thing. But you could do the same thing with your calendar. Okay, now it's going to make a liar out of it. You can do the same thing in your email. Oh, you can do the same thing with YouTube. Watch this. Maybe it was only on my phone. I just discovered this morning on my phone. So let's find a video here somewhere. Just here. That one. Oh, that's probably an ad. I probably just clicked on an ad.
Yep.
Yeah. What's the? All right, here. Let's go to this.
I think we're going to go with you guys.
That's great.
And
Awesome. Let me get the contract.
One last thing. Your SOC 2.
If you're still copying and pasting information.
All right. You can use, why is it not helping me out here?
Is it under the three dots?
Potentially. There it is. That's Gemini. Ask it right here. Summarize the video. Do the whatever. Give me the things. Give me a blah, 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 blah.
Holy
Whatever
smokes, Batman.
Okay. Is everyone seeing the power of what Google's doing yet? We're starting to recognize it, right? We're starting to see it. Okay, so let's get out of these things. Let's go back over here to Gemini. All right, we'll come back to a spreadsheet. The calendar I know is there. So let me see this. Maybe it's under the three dots. Nope. But you can use Gemini in the calendar also. Well, now it's making me
More
look at-
actions?
I don't think so. No, you can use it in here. I've used it in here very seldom, but I did play with it in there. I got to remember where it was at. There's just so much going on. So let's look at a new chat. We want to tell this, and we want to change our tool to the canvas. Okay. So we just wrote an article, right, about our product or our service or our whatever. All right. It doesn't matter whatever it was. Create a slide show in Google Slides based on the following. And I've started using Rick's little brackets. And there's the article. I pasted that whole article in there, all this stuff. Create a slideshow based on this. All right. And we'll give it a minute. It's going to do its thing. But everyone just saw the various tools. And we're going to explore all this. We're going to go deep into every bit of this. I wish we'd have kept on the path of the app scripts, because that was just it. Once you see that and knowing that you don't have to code anything, you just go to Gemini and tell it. And this is the new thing with all of the various LLMs out there. This is the outcome I want, and these are the tools that I want the outcome in. And then when it creates it, it's going to create it ready to plug into those things. So if you tell Gemini, I want an app script to do this thing, whatever the thing is, and I want it to be able to output here and here and here in a certain manner. Look, we have slides based on our and we could have gone into this. We could have given our media guide.
Yep, style guide.
Your colors, your fonts, your voice, your everything. We could have added to the instruction here to where it came out and you got what you want. But here's your slides. There they are.
So would you just have your brand guide just as a separate doc, I would think, and just keep it, run it? What's your thoughts?
You could, but guess what you could do? You could create a gem that does this, that already has your brand kit in it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
It already has the various things. Your ICA would be in it. The various things that you're using would be in it. All right. Now you can download this as a PDF, or you can export it to Google Slides. So here, or you can actually present from right here also. But let's make sure all the slides have content, because sometimes it won't have an image. It's showing the image sources. So sometimes it won't have an image. All right. And I can show you how to create the images. So let's go. We're exporting this. So you know what we did? We took the content we had over here. I guess I closed that tab. The article it wrote based on this. We took that article and went back in here and told it to create a slide deck based on that article. Now, keep this in mind. Watch the direction we're going here. All right. It created it in slides. So now we're going to open it in Google Slides. All right. Here's our slides. We can do the slideshow right here. There they are. There's the slides. Everyone sees them, right? Okay. We can go through here. We can add our speaker notes, whatever. We can use Gemini to generate the speaker notes per slide. We can go right back here and say, generate the speaker notes per slide. And it'll give them to us. Why is that important? Well, I'm going to show you. Because this is going to blow your mind. All right. So we have our slides. Runs all the way through, so on and so forth. Let's get rid of this slide. We don't need that one, do we? This is just image sources. We don't need that. Well, let's use this one as an example. What's it say right here? Beautify this slide. So that's a generic prompt, but we're going to beautify the slide. What's it do? It opens over here. And now it's creating something to make that. Now, what does beautify mean? We don't know. Gemini's determining what beautify means. And I'm going to try and go quick through this. We have 6 or 7 minutes left in this episode, and then we'll go to after hours, and you'll see where all this goes. There is the beautification of this slide. Can everyone see it? Now I can plug it in right here and say, insert as new slide. How about that? But what else could you do? You could prompt it to create a slide, an image, an infographic based on something right here and plug it right into your slide deck. Is everyone seeing where this is going? All right. Just as long. Now we're going to get rid of this one. Let's delete it. This is the end. Now this is where it gets super fun. And some of us may have already worked with this. Okay. Because you can come right here. Guess what you can do? You can bring your gems right into your Google Slides to work on your slide deck. All right. That's why these gems are so important. All right. So let's get out of this. Now, the last freaking dancing monkey trick I'm going to give you right here. Convert to video. Does everyone see that? Convert to video. So you took, we went from random information. We created a article and social media posts to go with it, that article, that support the article. So you can post the article, you can have the social media post, then you can have a slide presentation, and then you can use this video as your marketing piece for the whole thing based on that slide presentation. So here it is. And we just did this in what? I rambled on for 20 or 30 minutes of this hour. All right. And I hope the audio is on. Let's see.
Welcome to the video on your indispensable.
Can everyone hear that?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
AI strategy. We will focus on the minimal AI stack for operations leaders. This strategy gives you the integrator's edge. Transform. Welcome to the video on your indispensable AI strategy. We will focus on the minimal AI stack for operations leaders. This strategy gives you the integrator's edge, transforming you from an administrator into an operations architect through strategic AI deployment. Our focus is on augmentation, not replacement.
Okay, so everyone gets that, right?
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back and look, because we just recognized that this slide, the text, see, it's all editable in here. You can edit this. You can make this larger. It's not big enough, so you can go back in here. I want this bigger, right? You can make.
Michael, what happens if you just click beautify this slide?
Okay. That's what we did. That's what we did down here.
Okay.
Okay. Now it's going to work. It's working right here. So we'll plug it in just to get a good look. But this isn't the point. We can go into this in after hours. I want to show you the last thing here before we sign off on the episode itself. So it's going to generate a new slide for this. And if you added right here, because you can prompt this, or you could have brought in a gem to beautify the slide, right? And now we can add that right there. This is the new integrator's edge. We add it as a new slide. We get rid of this one. We don't need that anymore. It's garbage because it looked like, you know, cuckoo. There's your new slide. It went in the same place.
Michael, Michael, I see some unbelievable applications for this.
Oh, I bet
I'm
you
looking at,
do, Bill.
Rick has one. Say Rick has one of his financial clients. Run him through a little questionnaire. What's your situation? Blah blah blah. It's all private. It automatically goes through all of this, generates them a little custom video that tells them
That's right.
exactly how they should do their life. I mean, what a trust builder.
That's right. That's right.
Fantastic.
Now, let me point out just a couple more things because
Just
I found
real quick, I posted a link in chat. Everybody should click on that and then we'll discuss that later, I guess. Go ahead.
Okay. So I found that after right around the 20 slide mark, it starts hallucinating. So it could be 18, it could be 22, probably how much ever data that you're putting in here. But you can go in, let's look at this slide right here. All right. You can go in and do a voiceover and change the text that's talking about that slide.
Holy shit, Michael.
You can change the voices. Oh, come on.
Our focus is on augmentation.
We don't care about that.
But I
You
like
can
the voices in my head.
Okay. You can change the voices. All right. What's it say right here?
Avatar.
You can change the avatars. And the avatar, can actually be a talking head over here.
That's perfect. My wife was asking about this just yesterday. And then this opens the door to training videos. And training videos should be bite-sized parts. You can create a module, but one of my mentors says no more than 5, worst case 8 minutes. So this is great. This gets us under those marks.
You can even record your own voice.
Wow.
So
This is fabulous.
Just showing what's possible with what we have. Okay. So we just went from nothing, a random meeting notes, say, and now it's recorded me. I hope it didn't overwrite something down there. Well, it doesn't matter. So we went from some random meeting notes. We created an article out of it. From that article, we've created social media posts. From those social media posts, we could have created images to go with the social media posts. Then we created a slide presentation. We already know that back here, we could tell it based on these slides. Now we can create an infographic. We can create all kinds of materials. Let it finish writing it. You can put your infographic up with one of those social media posts. We can say generate images based on the slide deck. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so leading into, and I know we're past it. So we have this. You could take this right here, copy this code, go right into a web page and paste it and send people there. And then inside of this code, because you can take this code back into Gemini, or you could probably do it right here and say, add right here. I want to add my form, my sign-up form. So, and guess what it's going to do? It's going to rewrite this code, put your sign-up form code right there. And then on this page, there will be your sign-up code right in the middle of all this stuff.
All right. So we got a wrap.
Okay. So
I get the excitement. It's priceless. And we're going to put a bow on it in after hours. and begin the conversation about how can you take all this great technology and tools and start putting some money in your bank account.
So before we sign off, are there any questions about anything that we just did?
Want my first 42 or?
Well, let's limit it to 5 apiece.
That was a loaded question.
How about how do we put our brains back together after this explosive knowledge you just provided to us?
So everyone got that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone got that.
I got it. The one specific thing I didn't get was the Excel spreadsheet. That was kind of over my head. Everything else I understood.
Okay, I was just showing
So
that we can go in there and do things inside of all the various, and we haven't even got to half, even a quarter of what Google's doing. Okay, right now we're just playing. We're playing. We're creating fancy little things. But what we're going to talk about in after hours, all these little things that we're playing with, is going to get interesting, and that's where we're going to dig into the spreadsheet, Jeff.
All righty. Well, we ran just a smidge long, and I know we could probably go another hour and a half and not even feel like it was a smidge long with another hour and a half. It's that vibrant of content and that engaging. The link that I shared, if you open up that Google document, there's a little bit of instructions on how to use that. Clean up your notebooks, your chat GPTs, your projects. Absolutely priceless. And we're going to adjourn this and go into after hours.